Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT news, and with the Chamber Nerf officially confirmed, lots of reaction to this, and TenZ actually saying from Sentinels he wishes he might actually become a Chamber main over these coming weeks. But also everything was confirmed with regard to the North American groups. The schedule has been confirmed, but also some significant changes to the format as well for Stage 2. Very much enjoying your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. On the verge of 17,000 subs. Just absolutely love to see it. Firstly, I know this is repeated a lot of times already, but there's something wrong. Maybe this got patched over the last few hours here. There's something wrong with this wall here for B main on Ascent when everything you can throw through it. It's not just Phoenix, but like everything, like the KO flashes, all this type of stuff. Chuck them straight through the wall, no problem at all. So that, well, obviously a massive issue. I think that might have been fixed already, but everything goes through it. You know, the mollies go through it, doesn't even matter. So maybe that's what Phoenix needs to be able to do, right? Throw things through the wall in this kind of way. This though from Chamber. So the official confirmation yesterday that these are the changes that will come through. Like very surprising, honestly, that they've gone down this route. I think in my opinion, most of the pros seem to think that, okay, like, is this actually the way to go? Like, do we want to make him less like a Sentinel? Again, like, of course, I'm sure the developers have their reasons for it. But yeah, the trademark, that's kind of like effectively the alarm bot thing that goes on the floor, that the cost has now been increased from 150 up to 200, and you only get one of them anymore. Audio range has also been increased. So that got nerfed quite significantly. Now, people are saying, okay, is Chamber dead or something? Like, probably not the case at all, because his other actual stronger abilities, the likes of, you know, the orb that he has, of course, the headhunter, you know, the deagle, the sheriff thing, like, that's still, of course, very strong, and as it was before, like, people were saying, okay, maybe the operator, like the orb that he has, the tour de force, whatever it's called, needs to take more charges to get, or whatever the case might be, or reduce the kind of extent of the slows on that orb, or whatever. Like, you know, there's so many things that you could maybe do with Chamber to make him less strong, and also, like, his teleport, which is very good, like, the cooldown on it is only 20 seconds. There's been so many concerns, really, about that side of his game, and apparently this is the one they're nerfing. So, as Ethan says here, still the main operator, insane ultimate, pocket guardian, right, with the kind of headhunter thing, can still anchor a sight, like, can still give an alarm bot to the rest of his team, and insta get away with teleports. Basically, in the like, look, this really doesn't change anything, doesn't really change Chamber's effectiveness much at all, and makes him, if anything, a bit less like a Sentinel. And that's the thing, like, there are other Sentinels, and there are other kind of agents that maybe haven't been used all that much, with Chamber really being like the main Sentinel that people use. Nowadays, he's in maybe a slightly different role to what he was before, but everything that maybe made him slightly too overpowered is still there, effectively. And even as that, well, Chet says in replies here from the OpTic side, trademark, the easiest Sentinel utility to break, needed a nerf, he reckons. So basically saying, look, trademark was pretty irrelevant anyway as a kind of a, you know, piece of his equipment. Like, it was easy to get rid of, easy to break anyway. Like, so why did that need a nerf compared to the rest of his stuff? So I show a couple of clips here. Tarek's response initially saying that, like, look, he's not really sure this is a good idea. And also TenZ, even though TenZ said this slightly before the nerf did come into play, but it's still relevant after it, basically saying, like, look, he reckons that Chamber's just so broken that saying, you know, he should be the main Chamber on that team. And there has been some talk, okay, do you put ShahZaM on a Jet or something? Could they make that work there, where, like, TenZ actually becomes the main Chamber for that roster?
And the thing is that the Chamber nerf that's proposed, there's a leak about it, is so weird that they're taking away an alarm bot. Like, if I was to make a change to Chamber, that would be like the literal last thing I do. It's a Sentinel, and we're taking away his alarm bot.
It's the one thing that makes him a Sentinel.
Why wouldn't they change the slow, or nerf the deagle, or nerf the op, or change the radius on the anything? But they took away an alarm bot or changed the TP. It's so strange.
Yeah, you're gonna probably see the Cypher Killjoys come back. You just can't.
It can't. It can't be a main Sentinel with one trip. You can't do shit with that.
I feel like Chamber is actually super busted. Because I think he has the value of, well, first off, he can primary op and get out of jail free. It's on a timer, recharges every 20 seconds. Sheriff is perfect for secondary, where you can instantly get another shot off after an op shot. His ultimate's an op that shoots really fast, slows. They nerfed him in PvE though. I mean, just pre-nerf. I actually think like this character's like, I've been like thinking about it. Man, I really wish my team wanted me on him, because I swear to God, this character is so strong. Like, you literally just ADS with the sheriff and you'll get the freest kills. It's like a guardian, kind of. But you have a guardian every round.
So of course, Sentinels, maybe with, TenZ on the Chamber, who knows, will be playing in just a few days' time here in the first kind of weekend of matches at the qualifiers. And as 100 Thieves say, we qualified, the competition is just getting started indeed. Now, well, as Ethan said just yesterday, the VCT is getting maximum viewership from these groups, and these are the groups that were confirmed last night to be as follows. So yes, Group A, The Guard, xNed, NRG, TSM, 100 Thieves, and Ghost Gaming. This to me is such a hard group to call. Like, you honestly might just be able to randomize the order of this and come up with a decent answer. I have no idea really who's going to qualify and who's not going to, because actually this time around, it's not just top 4 go through, bottom 2 go home. It's actually like, well, top 1 gets a big advantage, top 2, top 3 get a good advantage, and then top 4 is actually starting in a very difficult position. So the seeding this time around matters massively, and really you want to get top 3 in this group. Like, top 4 is not necessarily going to cut it, even though you do get through to the playoffs and still have a chance. We'll see how that works here in just a second. Group B, though, is OpTic, Cloud9, FaZe Clan, LG, Evil Geniuses, and Sentinels. So in that group, I think it's, LG and EG, and maybe FaZe Clan to a degree. It's really tough to say. Maybe the weaker teams, of course, Sentinels probably are, one of the weaker teams, even though in fairness, the way they played at the latter half of the qualifiers was kind of impressive with more time with Raucus. Maybe they can get up to kind of where they should be here and manage to get out of this group again, but they were definitely on their last legs just a few days ago. But yeah, these are the groups. They, of course, begin in just a few days' time here on this Friday. Very exciting stuff indeed. And this is the schedule if you guys want to see it real quick. The first week of matches is very exciting, actually. Like, if you guys want to see the entire thing, I guess I'll just scroll down briefly. But yeah, these are the first week of games coming up in just a couple of days. There's some bangers in here already. Like, we've got NRG TSM, we've got OpTic versus FaZe Clan, The Guard versus 100 Thieves, first match of the week. Like, that's absolutely fantastic. So definitely some bangers here. I'll just scroll down briefly because, of course, there's going to be some bangers every single week. OpTic Cloud9 is always going to be a good one here in the week 2. Week 3 looks like this, and then week 4 looks like this, and then week 5 looks like this. We'll see in a second. So if you guys have like favorite teams or favorite matchup you're looking for, feel free to find it and note it down in your diary. All that type of good stuff. But people still use diaries or Google Calendar or whatever you guys happen to use nowadays. As Vanity says, 5 Sunday games. So apparently Cloud9 play on every single week on the Sunday, which is kind of interesting actually that they scheduled it in such a way. I guess Cloud9 one of the stronger teams, but probably they'd prefer to play Sunday than other days. Who really knows? Championship Sunday, all that type of good stuff. If they believe they're a Sunday team, I guess that's fine. But in reality, shouldn't make all that much difference probably. Now these are of course are the groups looking at it from this perspective. We can see here it goes for the effective the next month or so, the next 5 weeks of weekends. There are of course games, and then on June the 17th onwards are the playoffs to determine which 2 teams get to go through to Masters and who is going to be the champion of North America for Stage 2. Of course, last time it was OpTic versus The Guard in the grand finals, and The Guard managed to win it in that kind of 3-2 nail biter, but of course it was OpTic who did a better job when they got to LAN in Reykjavik. But the other side of things actually are the new playoffs, group format effectively. This is now rather different to what it was before. Pretty much previously it was like, okay, if you got top 4 in your group, you got through to the playoffs. If you were bottom 2, you didn't get through, unlucky, better luck next time. But now the groups are actually done in a rather different way. So this is kind of the playoff bracket. So seed 1 gets a big advantage here. You can see they get a bye in the upper bracket. So seed 1 from group A will play the winner of seed 2 from group B and seed 3 from group A. The winner of that match plays the seed 1 from group A. And on the other side as well, seed 2 from group A, seed 3 from group B plays the number 1 seed from group B. Now I'm guessing what this means is there's less games in the playoffs than there was last time around. Because I'm pretty sure the playoffs last time were pretty stacked because there wasn't really this whole bye situation in the same way. But the match 2 loser and match 1 loser, they will play the 4th seed from both groups here in the lower brackets. So the 4th seed from both group A and group B start in losers, where they will have to win it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 series in a row to win the entire playoffs. So it definitely gives a rather significant disadvantage to the teams that get the 4th seeds. Now I think this actually can be a positive thing, just because if we look at the groups here, like before it was kind of like, okay, it's green if you qualify, it's red if you don't, and like it doesn't really matter too much if you if you were 4th last time, you played the number 1 seed from group A, just in like a cross-pollination type thing they had going on there, which was probably a decent advantage for the team with the number 1 seeds. But it kind of meant that going into the final week of matches, let's say the top 4 teams are pretty much confirmed, because I think last time in group A, in the final weekend of matches, there was really nothing to play for. There's maybe some small seeding changes between like seed 2, seed 3 in certain groups, but outside of that, the 4 teams that were going to qualify were the teams that were going to qualify. Therefore there wasn't anything particularly interesting. However, nowadays the seeding battle is much more important, because it determines whether you get a bye in the winners bracket if you're the number 1 seed, or whether you have to start in the losers bracket and only get 1 chance in the tournament if you are the number 4 seed. So I kind of like this. It probably means there's less matches than there was before, when in fact it has to mean that, right, if a couple of teams are starting in losers, which is maybe a negative, but I do think it probably will make the final couple of weeks of the kind of group play stages more interesting, just because there's more further implications, right, if you guys get what I mean. So intrigued to your respectful knowledge whether you think this is a good thing or a bad thing, but Riot seem to believe that the number 1 seed should have more of an advantage than just getting to play the number 4 seed in the first round of a double elimination bracket gauntlet type thing. This is also from OpTic though, because they've kind of been implying the last week or so, the last few days or so, that they're not going to be anywhere near as good this time around than they were before. Now, I mean, look, I don't really buy this, to be honest. OpTic's still a very good team indeed. I'm sure they'll still, well, do a pretty good job this time. Whether they'll be quite as good as they were at Masters, whether they just turned up massively at that event, who knows? And of course, the Neon change might change things around a little bit. But as Ye says, don't know why everyone else is making it out of groups. We're losing every scrim, barely even getting rounds, giving our way to a LAN win via cringe Neon comps. We're just happy to be here as everyone has figured us out. Not to mention this trip nerf is really hurting us, I suppose, on the chamber side. And in fairness, that is the thing. It's much more difficult to stay on top than it is to get to the top in the first place. Every team is going to be looking into what OpTic did. Maybe the changes don't help them particularly well. And they say they're barely getting rounds in scrims. Now, in fairness, this isn't obviously fully the case. But this did actually come out yesterday and was noticed. I forget whose stream this was on. But as you can see, we've got OpTic versus 100 Thieves in a scrim right here. And it's actually, well, Asuna and the boys winning this one 13-6. So either 100 Thieves are just absolutely unbelievable nowadays. And of course, it's a scrim anyway. Doesn't mean all that much. But like, I mean, yeah, 13-6 in this particular game. So maybe showing that either 100 Thieves are just completely god tier, or maybe, yeah, maybe Ye's onto something, right? That OpTic are just falling off massively going forwards, which yeah, I do kind of doubt. We'll see how it goes over the coming days. This also from VALORANT, I thought from the guard, thought was pretty funny. Of course, in just a couple of days' time, Friday the 13th, guard versus 100 Thieves, the first matchup of North American Challengers for stage 2. That's going to be a banger. And yeah, coincidental date, as he points out right here. And as the Frozer even says, though, because he believes that, yeah, Cloud9 and OpTic are still number 1, number 2. Everyone else in VCT is playing for 3rd. But that group that TSM have here in Group A is so hard to call. I think they can certainly get through. I think that, you know, there's going to be some big upsets here because Ghost Gaming, like, I don't think they're a team to sleep on either. This is honestly the group I'm most excited for, Group A, because I have no idea how that one is going to work out. And just to finish off with this from Flex Ninja, because, yeah, apparently the 360 no-scopes are still the play here in VALORANT. We're very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button, tell us your YouTube gods. This is a good video. I was like you should see it as well. And I'll grow the competitive VALORANT community. Thank you as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.